Hello and good afternoon. I trust you are doing well this 26th day of December 2020. Many thanks for joining us here on Newsfeed. My name is Musa Salah. Let's now take a look at the top stories at this hour. Retired Chief Justice Evans Gichuru is dead. Gichuru, who was Kenya's longest serving Chief Justice, has been eulogized as a significant contributor to Kenya's judicial independence. Now let's move on. The Kenya National Union of Nurses has taken offense with what they say is blatant neglect by the government. The Union Secretary General Seth Panyako decries that the nurses have been on strike for close to a month now, and the government has not made any attempts to address their grievances. On the other hand, doctors went on strike for just 3 days this week, and the government gave in to their demands and signed a return to work formula. Clinical officers are also on strike.
This is the only country where a governor calls health workers murderers. This is the only country where the Cabinet Secretary for Health tells health workers that you are not the only ones who are dying. Others are also dying. Indeed, Kenya is a great country, being led by great people. When you take the Kenya Defense Forces to Somalia, and during the fight, the campaign, when they are fighting on the ground, there are of course the army some of the armed forces who will die, and they are the collateral, the wananchi who will also die. You cannot tell the Kenya Defense Forces that you will not be treated in your hospital here in Nairobi at War Memorial because other people also have died in the war. That you will not be compensated because other people have died in the war. This is the only country where nurses are being told and other health workers, go back to work. But your issues of comprehensive medical insurance and group life insurance will be dealt with subject to availability of money. I saw the agreement with the doctors. They are saying subject to availability of money. We are not being told what happens to those nurses who have already died when the comprehensive medical insurance is not in place. How are we going to pay and compensate for medical bills that have been paid by the families of those whose people have departed? This is the only country where leaders go to Christmas to celebrate and of course open up presents on 26th when 95% of Kenyans cannot access essential healthcare services. This is the only country where people will continue to enjoy even tomorrow. We don't know whether they will come back to us on January or when. But one thing, the most underlying thing is that these people have comprehensive medical cover of up to 10 million. They have group life insurance of up to 10 million, while the ordinary mwananchi here does not have a place to go. As a country, we are used to shenanigans. Where people are raising issues, you hear a cabinet secretary says national officials have lost touch with the reality on the ground. Where the cabinet secretary is saying the national officials are doing politics. It is not politics. When Kevin Muthoni has been found dead in his house in Chuka, after working for 4 months without salary. Kevin Muthoni has died without seeing a payslip for a period of 4 months. It is not politics, Mr. CS. This is the only CS who has never made this union. You write letters, you want a consultative meeting, or you want a courtesy call, it is cancelled. You call him, he does not receive your calls. You send him an SMS, he does not respond. You go to the ministry, you want to see him, he does not see you. Then he says that we are contracting COVID-19 in bars. The lady Michuki said, when you rattle a snake, you should be ready for the snake to bite you. You'll be bitten by that snake. When we abuse health workers, be ready to catch the same abuses from them.
Well, let's now take a look at our top story this afternoon. Retired Chief Justice Evans Gichuru is dead. Gichuru, who was Kenya's longest-serving Chief Justice, has been eulogized as a significant contributor to Kenya's judicial independence. Retired Chief Justice Evans Gichuru is dead. Announcing his death in a statement to newsrooms, Chief Justice David Maraga eulogized Gichuru as a humble public servant. He brought honor to the office of the Chief Justice by ensuring that it became the indisputable custodian of integrity within the judiciary, Maraga said in the statement. In his message of comfort to Gichuru's family and friends, President Uhuru Kenyatta said that Gichuru knew the importance of an independent judiciary as a guarantor of peace and harmony, and that the country will be forever grateful to his judicial reforms. ODM leader Raila Odinga took to his Twitter page to mourn the death of Gichuru. I remember Gichuru as a great legal mind. He did his best under difficult circumstances, he wrote. Gichuru, who was first appointed a judge of the High Court in 1988, served as Chief Justice for 8 years, taking over from former Chief Justice Bernard Chunga in 2003 before his retirement on the 27th of February 2011. Now, Kisumu County leaders have warned Vihiga Senator George Khaniri to tone down on the border row between the two counties. Led by Kisumu County Speaker Elisha Oraro, the leaders decried that the border tiff is an emotive one and risks spiraling into a bloody conflict if not carefully addressed. James Okoth reports.
The border between Kisumu and Vihiga has been a long-drawn one, with Maseno being the bone of contention. Vihiga County Senator John Khaniri laying claims to Maseno, which Kisumu County Governor Anyang' Nyong'o upgraded to a town status earlier in the year. But Kisumu County leaders now want Senator Khaniri to tone down on the Maseno border rift. Kisumu West MP Olago Aluoch hitting back at Khaniri, accusing him of attempting to peddle a border conflict.
I want to ask my brother Senator Khaniri to go slow on the issue of the border. The only institution in the Republic that has the capacity and the power to alter boundaries is IBC, not the Senate.
Kisumu County Assembly leaders also castigated the Vihiga senator. They were speaking at the new home of Northwest Kisumu Ward MCA Vincent Onyango Jagongo. Kisumu County Assembly Speaker waded into the BBI narrative, saying Kisumu will be the first county assembly to pass the BBI referendum bill once the IEBC is done with the verification of signatures.
I want to say that as Kisumu County Assembly, we want to appreciate the architects of BBI, the Building Bridges Initiative, because we have gone through it and we have seen that it's adding and not subtracting on what devolution had brought to Kenya. We have therefore decided that as Kisumu County Assembly, when the bill comes, we'll pass it on the first day.
MP Aluoch assured the Wanyore community, who are in Kisumu West constituency, that he will take care of them the way he has always done.
So I want to assure our brothers and sisters of the Wanyore community who are in Kisumu West constituency that I will take care of them the way I've always done, and I will integrate them with the development activities in my constituency.
Reporting for TV47, I'm James Okoth.
The Ajuran community, whose history and dominance in the Horn of Africa is known, are now regrouping for a chain of modern sultanate. A colorful ceremony was organized in Korondile of Wajir North in order to name the second community leader in 2 months. The sultans are expected to make communal decisions and breach disparity in the community.
This colorful ceremony is aimed at ascending one of the prominent Ajuran clan elders to a sultan. A day that acts as a reminder to how powerful the Ajuran Sultanate has been in early times. Every community elder here knows how it feels to have a unifying umbrella that the entire community can face every time communal decisions are made.
In the modern world, tumekosa kiongozi ambaye wa kufanya haki. So kiwango hiyo, hii ni kimila, si katiba. Kimila ya wananchi ndio wameungana, wametafuta mtu mmoja.
Nashukuru na kumwombea Ugasu wetu maisha marefu, uweze kuwa mtu wa haki kwa kuongoza hii jamii, kwa sababu hii jamii ile kitu inataka ni haki.
The Ajuran community in northeastern Kenya have portrayed importance to the politics of the day, but their unity has often been swayed, lacking a solid bloc to face any impending political agenda wholeheartedly.
What made us disgruntled, what made us not achieve our political dreams has been a bit of indecision and disunity. What we are doing is try to bring together this community so that there will be one voice.
This ceremony might not show imperialism as of the early Ajuran Sultanate, but their dominance and formation of strategic rule along the Somali coast is still vivid in their heart. This generation lives to be motivated by their predecessors and opted to rub shoulders with a common goal.
Ajurans are today a smaller community, not really small in numbers, but dispersed into various clusters. What we have today is a vestigial remain of what was once a very enterprising, strong dynasty in Africa.
The Ajuran community and their formation of Sultanate in Somalia and Horn of Africa makes an integral part in the history of the larger Africa. The Ajuran Sultanate belonged to the Somali Muslim Sultanate that ruled over large swaths of Horn of Africa in medieval times and dominated Indian Ocean trade.
This was the biggest, one of the strongest, potent dynasties in history, akin to the Oromo kingdom. So it was one of the most powerful, the most 10, it was number 1 in Africa.
Ajuran walikuwa viongozi wa Somalia. Walilaaniwa. Hiyo laana, according to dalili, inaonekana inaisha 2020.
History has always acknowledged the prevalence and influence of the Ajuran Sultanate, particularly in Somalia. This community is coming together centuries later to build a modern network of sultanate that will take part in politics and policies of the present time. Isadin Haji, TV47, Wajir County.
With the number of Kenyans complaining of the high cost of living and the pandemic that castigated a lot of businesses, well-wishers took their time and money to celebrate Christmas Day with the needy, including street children from various parts of the country. John Maina reports.
It was a sigh of relief to over 200 persons living with disabilities in Rongai after Sitam Church Rongai branch organized a get-together celebration with families of children with disabilities, giving them Christmas gifts and food. Senior Pastor Sitam Rongai Church John Munene and Elder Richard Wangombe said vulnerable families have no support for basic needs, urging Kenyans of goodwill to continue supporting them.
So today we celebrate Christmas. We had thought of inviting people and especially families with special needs. These are families with children with disabilities. They could be mental disability or even blind, or people who are not hearing, cerebral palsy and autism.
Street children in Narok, Kakamega and Bungoma counties enjoyed their Christmas after several well-wishers cooked for them and gave them clothes. The children were excited, saying the society has started considering and recognizing them. Their happiness could be seen as they danced and chanted heartily.
Serikali ingeweza kuangalia kituo rehabilitation, kwa sababu tayari watoto wamevuta gamu, wengine wamefuta bangi. Iangalie rehabilitation, iwajengee, tuwatoe hapa na kuwaingiza huko. Lakini kuwabeba kwa marori na kwenda kuwatupa tauni nyingine, watarudi tu bado.
Gideon Mudenyo, a bishop from Eldoret, prepared meals to more than 100 people who were not fortunate to get a meal to celebrate the much-hyped Christmas Day, just to bring togetherness to those who feel segregated.
With the little that you have, you can be able to be a blessing to that poor who doesn't have, to that orphan who doesn't have, to that widow who doesn't have.
Churches from the western region of the country also celebrated in style with their church members following the required COVID-19 protocols.
Tunaomba tu Mwenyezi Mungu atuondolee changa hili la corona ili turudi katika makanisa tuwe na kesha.
Once in a while, yes.
In Malindi County, Kenyans of goodwill took time to celebrate with families who could have not afforded to celebrate Christmas. Over 50 children at Mama Nakuja Children Home received special guests who donated foodstuffs. Miles away, Kilifi Governor Jeffa Amason Kingi spent time with patients at the Kilifi County Hospital, donating foodstuffs to patients.
Na yale yote ambayo yaliwekwa kama matakwa ambayo lazima yazingatiwe, upande wetu kama serikali na kama county tumejaribu sana. Pale ambapo yamebaki nafikiri ni upande sana wa serikali ya kitaifa. Mambo ya promotion, hiyo ni haki ya mfanyikazi.
In Kiambu County, government laborers and those whose salaries were delayed were not able to celebrate enough, saying the pandemic has affected them, adding that school opening preparations could not allow them to celebrate the day. This year's Christmas celebration came with an extra burden occasioned by the harsh economic situation following the outbreak of the pandemic, with the less privileged families missing out, especially those who used to depend on donors for upkeep. Joanne Maina, TV 47.
Well, thank you so much, John Maina, for that wonderful story. We now take a short break, but we'll be back with more. Don't go too far.
Ebindaya tanu, ebindaya moyo, ebindaya time, ebindaya nguma, kwata kawaya, kwata view. Hey, what's up? My name is Movie, and thank you. For the last 3 months, we've been watching Coffee with Movie. Nasema ni asante, nashukuru. Thank you for the suggestions, for the opinions, for the suggestions of who you want us to have, and the better ideas of how we can modify this show to suit you as best as possible. Nataka niwawish Merry Christmas, Happy Brand New Year 2021. Au sio? It will be bigger, greater, fuller, excellenter. Au sio? I wish you a Merry Christmas, I wish you a Merry Christmas, I wish you a Merry Christmas, and a Happy New 2021, yo.
We let you take us through your journey.
The report of the scan came out. The doctor told us that the scan is showing my baby had already passed on.
I don't like people standing too close to me. I don't like people standing behind me.
And give hope after beating all odds.
We don't choose how we are born. We don't choose how we are raised. The choices we have in this life are virtually limited.
Only on Confessions with Maria every Saturday at 8 p.m.
Sunday yes, Sunday mwami. Mtumishi hapa papa unichasero baya niweze kumushinda shetani. Sunday yes. Tuko ndani ya TV47, don't move, usisonge, pakia hapo na tuna hang out na Coffee with Mbufi na tunaelekea wakati wa Christmas. Please share. Ukiona kakitu tu, pitia mahali wachia mtu na utachaswa na roho ya TV47. Papa unichase roho, niweze kumushinda shetani. Sunday wacha nimalizie chai.
Ebindaya seyo, ebindaya tanu, ebindaya moyo, ebindaya time, ebindaya nguma, kwata kawaya, kwata view. Hey, what's up? My name is Movie, and thank you. For the last 3 months, we've been watching Coffee with Movie. Nasema ni asante, nashukuru. Thank you for the suggestions, for the opinions, for the suggestions of who you want us to have, and the better ideas of how we can modify this show to suit you as best as possible. Nataka niwawish Merry Christmas, Happy Brand New Year 2021. Au sio? It will be bigger, greater, fuller, excellenter. Au sio? I wish you a Merry Christmas, I wish you a Merry Christmas, I wish you a Merry Christmas, and a Happy New 2021, yo.
We let you take us through your journey.
The report of the scan came out. The doctor told us that the scan is showing my baby had already passed on.
I don't like people standing too close to me. I don't like people standing behind me.
And give hope after beating all odds.
We don't choose how we are born. We don't choose how we are raised. The choices we have in this life are virtually limited.
Only on Confessions with Maria every Saturday at 8 p.m.
Sunday yes, Sunday mwami. Mtumishi hapa epa